In the annals of American crime history, certain names evoke an aura of infamy, their exploits woven into the fabric of a bygone era. Among them stands Alfred James Al Brady, a figure whose short but audacious life as a criminal captured headlines and seized the public's imagination during the tumultuous years of the Great Depression. Join us as we explore the life of Al Brady, a man who rose from modest beginnings to become one of the most infamous outlaws of the Great Depression. Born on October 25, 1910, in the small town of Shelbyville, Indiana, Alfred Brady entered the world under modest circumstances. Like many of his generation, his early years were shaped by poverty and the harsh realities of a country grappling with economic turmoil. The Roaring Twenties may have painted a picture of prosperity for some, but for families like the Bradys, survival was the daily grind. Young Al's upbringing was marked by personal tragedy. He lost his father at an early age, a blow that fractured his family and set him on a precarious path. Without a strong paternal figure and with few opportunities available, Brady began to drift. By his teenage years, petty crimes, stealing cars, breaking into stores, had become a way of life. These early brushes with the law served as the prologue to a career that would escalate in both ambition and notoriety. In the early 1930s, as the Great Depression deepened, crime became a desperate occupation for many. Yet for Al Brady, it was not merely about survival, it was a vocation, one that he pursued with increasing boldness. By 1935, Brady had established himself as the leader of a small but dangerous gang. Alongside accomplices like Clarence Lee Schaffer Jr. and James Dalhover, the Brady Gang embarked on a spree of robberies that spanned several states, targeting banks and leaving chaos in their wake. The Brady Gang was emblematic of the public enemy era, a time when figures like John Dillinger and Bonnie and Clyde captured the public's imagination. But unlike some of his contemporaries, Brady was not content with fleeting infamy. He sought to rival the most infamous names of his time, earning a reputation for both his audacity and ruthlessness. Witnesses to his crimes described him as cold and calculating, a man who would not hesitate to resort to violence. Between 1935 and 1937, the Brady Gang's exploits grew increasingly brazen. They robbed banks with military precision, often using stolen cars and automatic weapons to outmaneuver local law enforcement. Brady himself had a penchant for flashy displays, sometimes taunting police by leaving behind mocking notes. But the gang's notoriety came at a cost. With each heist, their names climbed higher on the FBI's most wanted list. The turning point came in May 1937. The Brady Gang had just robbed a bank in Goodland, Indiana, making off with thousands of dollars. During their escape, they murdered an Indiana state trooper who had attempted to stop them. The killing marked a shift in how law enforcement viewed the gang. No longer just thieves, they were now cold-blooded killers. The FBI launched an intensive manhunt, determined to bring the Brady Gang to justice. Forced into hiding, the gang crisscrossed the Midwest, staying one step ahead of their pursuers. But Brady's ambition proved to be his undoing. Convinced that his gang could still operate with impunity, he devised a plan to acquire a massive arsenal of firearms from Bangor, Maine. It was a fatal miscalculation. In October 1937, Brady and his gang arrived in Bangor, posing as traveling businessmen. Unbeknownst to them, the FBI had been tipped off about their plans and was lying in wait. On October 12th, the gang entered Dawkins' sporting goods store, intending to purchase the weapons that would fuel their next spree. It was a trap. What followed was a scene ripped straight from the pages of a pulp novel. FBI agents and local law enforcement surrounded the store, creating a tense standoff in the heart of downtown Bangor. Brady and his accomplices, realizing the noose was tightening, attempted to flee. But the FBI was prepared. As Brady bolted into the street, armed and desperate, a hail of gunfire erupted. Witnesses later described the chaos, the echo of gunshots, the shouts of officers, and the sight of Brady, defiant to the end, falling in a storm of bullets. In mere moments, one of America's most wanted men was dead. His accomplice, Clarence Schaffer Jr., also perished in the firefight, while James Dalhover was captured and later executed. The death of Al Brady marked the end of an era. Newspapers across the country splashed the dramatic events in Bangor across their front pages, cementing the gang's place in the annals of American crime lore. Yet, as the dust settled, questions lingered about what drove men like Brady to such extremes. Was he a product of his time, a man shaped by the desperation and disillusionment of the Great Depression, or was he simply a rogue spirit destined for a life outside the law? In the years since his demise, Al Brady's story has taken on a mythical quality. He has been immortalized in books, documentaries, and even local folklore, a symbol of a bygone era when outlaws roamed the land and lawmen hunted them with equal fervor. But behind the legend lies a cautionary tale, a reminder of the thin line between ambition and hubris, and the ultimate price of a life lived on the run. Today, the site of Brady's last stand in Bangor is marked by a plaque, a quiet tribute to a moment in history when the city became the stage for a dramatic confrontation. Visitors pause to reflect, some drawn by curiosity, others by a fascination with the era that produced figures like Al Brady. As we consider his story, we are left with a paradox. Al Brady was a man who sought infamy and found it. Yet his legacy is one of fleeting glory, overshadowed by the very forces he sought to defy. His name, etched in the annals of crime history, serves as a stark reminder of a tumultuous time in America, a time of desperation, defiance, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.